Today we're taking a look at these NCAAF matches, which are happening on Saturday, October 29, 2022, and giving you match breakdowns, betting tips and predictions in general on these games. Welcome back to High Stakes, let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe and push that notification bell to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos. And if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. Multiple plans are available for each and every one of you. By becoming a member of the High Stakes Patreon, you will have access to our best team picks, total picks, parlay picks and much more. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting predictions that ends up costing you a lot of time and money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks. Boise State Broncos vs Colorado State Rams. The numbers do not favor Colorado State in this matchup, clearly. The Rams are, however, 2-1 in the conference thus far and have played well defensively in each of their 3 conference games. They have allowed under 15 points per game in their 3 conference games thus far. The Broncos' margin of victory has not come close to this spread all year. In addition, while Boise State is the superior team, they like to attack teams with their running attack. Colorado State has shown the ability to avoid huge plays, and while the Broncos will get scores, they're going to have to earn them. With that in mind, and with both teams turnover prone, I think this game will certainly stay within 3 scores. Take the Rams with the points, plus 27.5. Boise State has one of the best overall defenses in college football, so this already gives them a huge advantage over a Rams offense that is struggling to put scoring drives together. The Boise State defense will punish the Colorado State offense on the ground and in the air. In addition to the defense, the offense has been putting scoring drives together well as of late, and they will do that against the Rams defense. Green will be able to lead his offense downfield to put early points on the board. Take Boise State and their 3rd-ranked defense to stop the Rams from scoring. Take the Boise State Broncos minus 27. Florida Atlantic Owls vs UAB Blazers. Dylan Hopkins hasn't cleared the concussion protocol yet, and the Blazers are preparing for a tough road challenge with Jacob Zeno under center. UAB will heavily lean on Dwayne McBride once more, and McBride had a quiet game versus Foul last season, racking up 52 yards on 17 carries. He'll be way more dangerous this time around, but I highly doubt UAB's chances to beat the Owls comfortably on the road. Both teams will struggle to contain each other on the ground. The Owls will run the pigskin a lot because of the Blazers' stout pass defense, and I'm backing the hosts to keep it within a touchdown. The stake is huge, with both UAB and Florida Atlantic sitting at 2-2 in the conference play. 3 of FAU's last 4 contests have been decided by 3 or fewer points, and I'm looking for another tight battle when the Owls host the Blazers. Florida Atlantic Owls plus 7.0. Both of these teams have the ability to put up lots of points on their day, and while the scoring has been inconsistent throughout the season, both squads have gone over the 46.5 mark set this week in 6 out of 8 games thus far in 2022, and have given up over 30 each a game throughout the season. That is a recipe for a lot of points to be scored, and combine that with the over being 7-1 in the last 8 head-to-head meetings between these 2 squads, then it looks like we should be seeing a high-scoring matchup. Both teams have talent on the defensive side of the ball, but the offense has been the standout for them in 2022, and given that they are both coming off the back of low-scoring losses, they'll be out looking for big games on Saturday, meaning we could be in for an explosive matchup. Over 46.5 points. Michigan Wolverines vs Michigan State Spartans. Michigan State was able to rush for 5 touchdowns against Michigan last year, but I would be surprised if the Spartans record more than one of those this time around. Not only are the Wolverines better defensively, but Michigan State has not been able to get its rushing attack going following Walker's departure to the NFL. Michigan is far superior on both sides of the ball, averaging 15.6 points more on offense and 14.9 points fewer on defense. The Wolverines are going to be motivated and angry heading into this year's matchup, and I expect them to roll to an easy win and cover. Take the Michigan minus 23. Michigan scores an average of 42.7 points per game this year. At home, they are scoring even more as they average 48.2 points per game. Michigan State's defense and offense are averaging the same amount of points at 27 points per game. The over is 18.5 in the Spartans' last 23 games following a bye week. The over is 7-3 in Wolverines' last 10 home games versus a team with a losing road record. Take the over at 54.5 points. Colorado Buffaloes vs Arizona State Sun Devils. The Arizona State Sun Devils have taken down the Washington Huskies and Northern Arizona University this season, as those are their only 2 wins. Unfortunately, both of those wins were at home, as they are 0-3 on the road. On offense, they are scoring 25 points per game, and they are averaging 353.6 total yards. This is the 94th most points scored per game and the 100th least amount of yards. They have struggled to move the ball on the ground and through the air. ASU is currently throwing for 218.4 yards per game, which is the 89th most in the country. Emory Jones has been the consistent starter for the Sun Devils this season, but now he is competing with Trenton Burgett for the starting job. Jones has recorded 1,347 passing yards and 5 touchdowns this season. He has also thrown 4 interceptions, though. ASU will get the ball to Elijah Badger, as he has recorded 37 receptions for 490 yards and 4 touchdowns this season. Arizona State is also averaging 135.1 rushing yards per game, which is the 90th most in the nation. Xavier Valladay leads the team with 542 rushing yards and 7 touchdowns this season. Last week, he ran for 76 yards and scored 1 touchdown against Stanford. It hurts me to do this as a former Buff, but Colorado is simply one of the worst college football teams in the country. They are giving up the 3rd most points per game, and they continue to struggle with the ball in their hands. They are scoring the 3rd least amount of points per game, as I see this ASU defense completely shutting them down. They looked solid against Stanford last week, as they will now pick on the struggling Buffs. Arizona State will also be able to move the ball on the ground, as the Buffs are giving up the 2nd most rushing yards per game. ASU is still scoring 25 points per game, as they will consistently move the ball up and down the field in this game. Colorado's season is over and they don't have anything to play for. They picked up their 1 win and that's all I see them getting this season. Valladay will have a massive game in this one, as I see him carrying his squad to a big victory on the road. CU is also starting JT Shroud in this game, as he hasn't been impressive this season. He was benched earlier in the year, but has gotten another chance due to injuries. Colorado is averaging the 114th most passing yards per game and the 113th most rushing yards. They won't move the ball or be able to score enough points to cover this spread at home. ASU is the better overall team and they will dominate the Buffs in this one. Pick the Sun Devils and lay the points, minus 13.5. The Sun Devils are about to take on a team that has some of the worst ranked defense in football right now. Due to this alone, Arizona State will be able to capitalize on poor coverage and defensive miscues to get points on the board on a majority of drives. Colorado reps the 2nd to worst rush defense too, so Valladay will have a field day earning big yardage on most rushes. Arizona State has the perfect opportunity to play fast football and still score points. The Buffs' offense may be without their quarterback, which could allow Arizona State's defense to score some points or just cause downs quickly. Arizona State will punish the abysmal defense and offense, running the score up. Take the over.